Hey there, it's another beautiful day. Let's watch some stuff.
The average person, no idea this is going on. No idea. They're shutting down the food supply worldwide. They are culling the livestock. They are buying up and shutting down the farmlands. They're cutting off farms from water like they're doing in Idaho, 500,000 acres of prime farmland. In Oregon, they're stopping you from growing your own food in your backyard and imposing severe restrictions to your water usage there. They are saying to reach our carbon goals, we're going to destroy the ability to produce beef, chicken, eggs, and fish. Call it whatever you want. Say it's for climate change. Say it's for health. But the outcome's always the same. You're just trying to shut the food system down. Why these people hate this, why this is a threat to them, can only be explained by literally being at war with God's creation. This is an act of war against humanity.
So very true. Like, I just learned about this stuff in the last few months, and there are so many people who have zero clue about what is actually going on. They just, see the news and they're like, oh, bird flu, gotta cut out chickens, gotta cut out eggs. Oh, now it's in cows, gotta cut out beef. But there's a group of people that very potentially are making this all happen.
But yeah, speaking of milk and tuna fish, you hear about those killer whales, those great white sharks?
Yeah.
Oh my
What?
gosh.
Have you heard about it?
I've seen it.
Dude, it's,
Like more than normal?
yeah, it was like this group of whales, orca,
Yeah,
Right?
orcas, yeah.
orcs.
Let's not
No.
call them cows, okay?
Well, they're
Not, I know not every one.
Those
not
wouldn't
every
kill-
one of them, though.
I know, but those were killer whales.
Okay, all right.
In like a week span or something, they killed like 25 great white sharks.
What?
Yeah.
What is this vendetta about?
Don't know. Maybe it's their territory.
That's weird.
They just kill them. Like they'll like go and like bite their like.
So they don't eat them.
throats.
They bite
No.
So no,
Yeah.
they're not killing. They're murdering those
Yeah.
sharks.
Yeah. Killer whale. Andy.
Whales. Murder whales.
Murder whales.
Dahmer whales.
Aren't they technically dolphins? And that's why they don't know why they're doing it. It could just be
Porpoise?
something like that.
They do it on porpoise.
Hey.
Yes.
So this is actually super fascinating. There are a few pods of orca that have learned that great white sharks have really fatty livers, and they're huge, and they contain a lot of fat and calories, and they're just nutrient dense, and they're good for the orca. And so once one did it, they just kind of, hey, this is what we can do, because they're smart. And what they do is they ram the shark until it flips it over, which makes it go docile, and they just eat out the liver, and that's it. And it's super cool, and they're just teaching generations, and eventually they're all going to be doing it, I guess, and maybe we'll have a new apex predator in the ocean. That's evolution for you.
If ever there was going to be a war fought between Canada and the USA, there wouldn't be, we would lose. It would be over water. Trump is wading carefully into this water thing. Did you know the USA has been imagining how it's going to steal water from British Columbia since the 50s? This is the North American Water and Power Alliance, a concept proposed by the Ralph M. Parsons Company, which is one of these military industrial complex type villain companies that you'd see in like a James Bond movie or something like that. Donald Trump mentioning it is just him putting some feelers out there to see if we forgot about it. In order to satisfy the American Southwest water needs, you can't grow vegetables in the desert. Divert all the water from Alaska through the Yukon and fill up the Rocky Mountain Trench, dam it, and divert all of that to Utah, Nevada, California, and Arizona. That is the manifestation of America's destiny right there. Flood all the livable areas in our province as if it's nowhere. I've watched the old documentary films on this. They're fascinating. Just kind of refer to this area as this empty part of the continent that gets all this rain and water and nobody lives there. Well, people do live here. I think if Americans don't want to live in the desert, they should just move. It's one thing to build some irrigation canals in California. It's a whole nother thing to be getting tankers and bulk carriers from Alaska to the Great Lakes on man-made canals. That's what they wanted to do.
I had never heard of that. But that doesn't surprise me, because people here in America like to live in places where the things that the body needs to survive are not. We can get it there at the expense of others, but that's not very cool. Sorry, my Canadian friends.
At this wild map. Did you know that this year the United States quietly expanded its territory by over 1 million square kilometers? Up here in the Arctic, over here in the Bering Sea next to Russia, a little blip over here in the Pacific, the Gulf of Mexico, and over here in the Atlantic. This is now officially American economic waters. Ocean borders are tricky, and we have all this international law that sort of helps us decide what country has economic rights over what water. The default boundary is 200 nautical miles off of your coastline you get as your economic water. But a country is allowed to go to this international body and present scientific data that says our landmass actually extends further than 200 nautical miles. If they can present a compelling scientific case, then they are granted more water under which they can look for oil and minerals and whatever they want. So the US spent decades collecting this data, presenting it, making this argument, and the result is this map, a bunch of new economic waters for the United States. The implications of this, I do not yet know, but I'm going to be looking into it, so subscribe for more.
You learn something new every day. I had never heard of that. American economic waters. That's incredible. I'm just going to do a tiny plug today for @JohnnyHarris. That's where I found it. Go give him a little bit of your time. He's got some good stuff and like 5 million subscribers, so he doesn't really need my plug, but I'm doing it anyway. Johnny Harris.
This is McDonald's French fries. In the US, there's 11 ingredients. In the UK, there's 3, and salt is optional. An ingredient called dimethylpolysiloxane is an ingredient preserved with formaldehyde, a neurotoxin, in the US version. This is used as a foaming agent so they don't have to replace the oil that often, making McDonald's more money here in the United States. But they don't do that across the pond. This is Skittles. Notice the long list of ingredient differences. 10 artificial dyes in the US version and titanium dioxide. This ingredient is banned in Europe because it can cause DNA damage. Artificial dyes are made from petroleum, and products containing these dyes require a warning label in Europe that states it may cause adverse effects on activity and detention in children. And they have been linked to cancer and disruptions in the immune system. This on the screen back here is Gatorade. In the US, they use red 40 and caramel color. In Germany, they don't. They use carrot and sweet potatoes to color their Gatorade. And let's look at cereal. General Mills is definitely playing some tricks on us. They launched a new version of Trix just recently in Australia. It has no dyes. They even advertise that when the US version still does.
That's because the FDA is a corporation. All they care about is the money. They regulate themselves. They can put whatever they want in the food. They don't care about your health. All they care about is making more money off of you.
Is this a legitimate UFO?
Circa 2009, DARPA releases video footage of their drones coupled with swarm technology, which was invented back in 1989. Now, when DARPA releases information about the tech they've been working on, it's because they are already a decade or more ahead of the general public. In 2020, a report was released about how many drones there would be in the skies in the year 2021, approximately 3.5 million. A cursory search of the internet will show you that literally thousands of balloons of various types, shapes, and sizes are launched every year. On YouTube, you will find private citizens in their garages developing ion-propelled UAVs and ion engines taking the shapes of cubes and tubes. You see wingless aircraft being developed by private organizations. You even have famous actor Terrence Howard funding his private project of an octagonal-shaped UAV called Lynchpin. Now, if all these people are doing this on their own, what progress do you think DARPA has made in 2023?
Yeah, and here it is, 2024. How many times have I said the government has tech that's way beyond anything that they're letting us have now? And it just keeps getting better and better. You know they have alien tech, and they're doing all kinds of cool stuff with it, and we're not going to know about it until it's like way too late, and then we finally find out and get some stupid new trinket. Hey, thanks so much for stopping by. If you're having a good time, won't you hit that like button for me? If you're not having a good time, still, give it a whack. It might make you feel better. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Come back tomorrow, because I'm making a new episode every day.
There's something called like Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, good one.
What is that? That's lasers, right?
I can actually talk about that one, but it's really bad. But you know the people that see orbs in the sky?
Yeah.
Go around that fly faster.
UFOs?
UFOs.
Yeah, there's Navy pilots. There's multiple Navy pilots who talk about. They got there, so they were flying F-18s. These Navy pilots. One of them's coming in here in 2 weeks. He's Ryan Graves.
Okay.
He's a Navy pilot flying off the coast of North Carolina, and they got their radar upgrade on their F-18s, and all of a sudden they were seeing these things darting around on their radar.
Okay. Don't tell him what I'm about to say and see if he knows about it.
Okay.
So what we do is we play with our own forces, make sure our trickery will work on the enemy. And those are directed energy weapons of where we do intersecting beams or focus beams into the atmosphere. And notice they're always in the atmosphere to excite the electron orbitals of the oxygen and nitrogen in our atmosphere. And it causes a glow and it causes ionization. That ionization shows up on radar and it's like a cat laser pointer, and we're making planes chase them.
That's exactly how they describe these things moving, like laser pointers.
Yeah, and so we can do it in free space. We can make it look like
in three-dimensional space.
Yeah, and we can make it look like an entire fleet is about to drop bombs on, let's say, Europe, and then just have them disappear. And they get all their planes up in the air, and we attack them from the other direction, assuming we're attacking.
Who was doing this? The Navy, you said?
Somebody. Let's just say a group. A group. You know.
And you know this for a fact.
I know for a fact. Yeah. So anyway, don't tell your guests.
A group within the U.S. government.
Yeah. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Yes.
And is this something that could be seen with the naked eye? Or
yes,
is this something
because
that
it glows. It glows. So it would be seeable. You can see it by the naked eye, and it would leave a radar trace. So it's perfect as a deception.
Thank you, Randy, for sharing that clip. And now I'm even more confused because there are these things that these pilots are seeing and they're like, no, they're UFOs. And everyone's like, no, they're not UFOs. The government that's making them appear there is like, no, they're not UFOs. And then the government comes out and they're like, hey, UFOs are real. What? So they make them and then say, no, they're not real. And then they come out and say, oh yeah, they're real. And then we got this guy saying they're not real. What the frick is going on? But wait, there's more.
Now, have you heard of the accounts of these things going underwater? These things come out of the water, zip around, they fly. There's been accounts of these things going in between when there's two F-18s flying in formation. One of them, they're described as, one of them specifically, which Ryan Graves describes as a sphere with a cube inside, and each apex of the cube is touching the sphere.
Okay, no, I don't know about that technology. Okay, so that's different. I know you can make this appear as it goes in water, but it wouldn't have the shape of a cube. You can make them cigar shape. You can alter it somewhat. And I've worked on holography quite a bit, but nothing is detailed.
Holograms?
Yeah, holograms in three-dimensional space. There's a Japanese company, so I can talk about. They use femto pulsed lasers to create touchable holograms. Tiny little laser beams that excite the air and their midpoints and then create different colors.
Now, is this something that they would be able to do
on a massive scale?
100 miles offshore?
Well, that's the thing. I don't think so. But I'm saying they can just create, little orbs. Okay. Split them up and make them do cool things. And, the razzle dazzle, shocking off, back to war.
Right.
Oh, and you asked me about Project Bluebeam. Well, that's what it's about. And it involves the voice of God weapons that I was talking about.
Project Bluebeam does.
And this got leaked. So it probably won't have the effect and they probably won't do it. But if you wanted to bring the world together, as President Reagan said in several UN speeches, you would have a common enemy like evil aliens attacking. We forget our differences and we fight against it.
So we wouldn't look at each other as Chinese or Russian or American. We look at each other as Earthlings.
It's humans. Yeah, as Earthlings. And so that was Project Bluebeam, was to trick the human race and to believe either God is coming down, everybody hears the voice of God, the microwave hearing effect, get along, whatever the new message is, or it was going to be the evil aliens attacking. And notice how they, all of a sudden, all the governments release all their information on UFOs, and there's a whole division dedicated, and that's just deception.
You think it's all deception?
I think it's all deception.
Really?
Yeah. But that's my opinion. I've looked at all the videotapes and that people have given me, and I can explain away each one of them.
So apparently, but there's apparently lots of footage and videos and photos that have not been released to the public.
Yeah, I haven't seen those, so I can't get.
And if you think this is all some sort of psyop, what do you think the ultimate purpose of it is?
Distraction against a lot of this human experimentation we're doing.
What an absolutely loaded interview. So he confirmed that Japanese company that had the tangible holograms, right? That's freaking crazy. And the whole Project Bluebeam thing, how it got leaked, and now they're like, oh, they're probably not going to do it. Because remember, a couple months ago, I was like, it's supposed to happen in 2024. And then shortly after that, somebody found out about it, and they're like, oh, it probably won't happen until 2025. And now it might not even happen, which sucks, because that sounded like it would have been a lot of fun to watch it not work. And then this whole thing is a distraction because of the stuff that they're doing to humans, the human experimentation. Oh my gosh, that was absolutely brain overload. I love it.
Have you noticed something strange about the moon? Have you looked outside and looked at the moon? Have you noticed something strange about it? If you know, you know. The moon is not there. And the moon hasn't been there since September 29th. Neither has the regular moon nor the new second moon that they're talking about. Every night I go to the same spot and mow the grass and look up at the stars and the moon. And every night at that same time I can look up and I know where the moon is going to be. The moon has been shifting its location since before the 29th. The moon hasn't been where it's supposed to be. So now the moon is nowhere to be seen. Our regular 28, 29 day cycle moon hasn't been visible for the last 10 days. And the second new moon has caused some weather anomalies that I told you guys would happen. Look at the solar flare that's coming from the sun. The earthquakes happening in California. Look at all the hurricanes that popped up since Helene happened. 7 hurricanes on both coasts. It's not only those events, there's a lot more other things happening, including UAPs and UFOs that have been sighted all over the United States. And do me a favor and look up to see how the Schumann resonance has been behaving for the last 10 days. Where is the moon? All you have to do is go outside and look. Do it tonight. Hopefully I'm exposed in the darkness and the moon will come to light. Because the moon hasn't shown up for the last few days, people, and this is serious. Where is the moon? If you can see the moon tonight, if you see this video and you can go and see the moon, leave a comment and let me know what time and where did you see the moon at. It will make me feel a whole lot better. Thank you very much for watching.
First things first, this guy is either the worst neighbor in the world or he's a big fat liar because he said he cuts his grass every night. And if that's true, dick move, my man. Dick move. But about the moon, my viewer Ben Olson 3465, thank you for mentioning this yesterday, that the moon, he hasn't seen the moon in like 5 days. And I personally, I don't pay attention to the moon. I don't go outside and look at the moon on a regular basis. It's not my jam. But some people do. A lot of people do. And they're saying the moon's not there. And it's been since this second moon got here. And you're not going to be able to see it with your bare eyes. It's not a huge, gigantic thing. But there have been quite a few earthquakes. We just had one early yesterday morning. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And it was a pretty good one. Yeah, a bunch of weird stuff has been happening. Someone found the moon, though.
So for all you people who think the moon has disappeared, let me just show you something. You gotta look to the west, and it's going down, but it's there. It's not gone. Spend more time looking up, people, instead of looking at your phone. You might learn something. Bye-bye.
Now, I'm a big liar too, because I told Ben that I was going to go out and look at the moon last night, and I did not. So I am so sorry. I will do it tonight, I promise. And then I'll let you know what I see. And please, if you see the moon, let me know. If you're feeling weird stuff lately, let me know that too. Hell, let me know anything you want to let me know. We'll have a conversation, because I reply to everybody.
As if there's not enough scary things already in the ocean, DARPA just added a new one. This is the manta ray undersea drone surfacing. And here's a picture of it in port, and you can see it's big. So people are asking, what's the purpose of this thing? Is it hunting for submarines, hunting for ships, hunting for both? Does it have weapons? Does it go dormant on the bottom of the ocean? How long can it stay out? A lot of people are asking a lot of questions now that this thing has been revealed.
I know a lot of those images were CGI, but this thing actually exists. DARPA and their wonderful new manta ray submersible. You know it's got all kinds of frickin' tech that we're not allowed to know about. This next clip is pretty long, but it's really, really interesting. A lot of super fascinating information, and I couldn't cut it out. I had to bring it to you, so I hope you enjoy. Stick around. It's going to be good.
Have you ever seen the map of that one thing that happened in Las Vegas that we're not allowed to talk about? Yeah, there's like a whole map on the internet. You got to check this out. So open up a search engine, whichever one you want, and type in these 4 words. That's the keyword right there. Map. It'll be like the 4th hit or something. You're looking for this one right here. Click on that. It takes you to this thing, which is a whole rabbit hole. So I don't know who made this thing, but whoever you are, You're a legend. It's incredible. Let me show you what this is. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to try my hardest to show you this stuff without getting this video taken down and my account's fucked up, because you're really super not allowed to talk about this for reasons. So this is our map right here. And over here, I've got Google Earth up so that you can see more easily. So this hotel right here, that's the Mandalay Bay Hotel. It's that one right there. And they're hosting this country music concert right there in October of 2017. And then some super effed up shit happens. And this is where the map comes in. This is all archived evidence, videos, 911 calls, autopsy reports. This video right here, for example, so when you click on it, it gives you the video, it gives you descriptions and timestamps. You can watch the video, click. So if you don't know what's about to happen in this video, don't worry, you're not going to see anything graphic. I'm intentionally just going to show you the ones where you hear what's happening. I need to remind you, you're just at a country music concert in downtown Las Vegas. And then all of a sudden, you hear that? That is exactly what you think it is. So the official story is that just this one dude just went and kitted out his hotel room with like an entire militia's worth of gun ammunition and then just lost his mind out the window. And just to be clear, that's exactly what happened. So everything else I'm about to show you is just like coincidences and misinformation and weird 911 reports and people just losing their minds in general. And it's mostly all fake because he's the only guy that night that did any shooting at all. Because he actually took his own life at the end of it. The cops didn't even get to his room until like an hour after he was out of there. Like, not like he never left his room. He just like, he left. Of his own accord, theoretically, on his own. He was all alone. There was no one else in the room. But anyways, that's why when you look at the map, there's all these like reportings around the hotel, and there's all this horrible shit that happened right here in the festival. That's also why there's this 911 call happening over here to the side that I listen to, that you can listen to too. You just click on the little link. It's all linked up, where he clearly describes that he had direct visual on two dudes carrying the things that, you know, in that hotel running in a direction, and he made a 911 call about it. That's also why up here at the Excalibur, there's like 3 different 911 calls about this of the Excalibur. If you're not familiar with Las Vegas geography, that's where our dude is, the guy doing the bad stuff. We're like down here now in that building. But wait, there's more. There's also like 10 different 911 calls from the Tropicana saying there's stuff going on inside of that building. That's all these right here. There's video, there's phone calls. Those are all 911 calls. Then there's all these eyewitness videos of them like completely shutting down this intersection for what sure seemed like them suspecting there was some bad dudes around that area. Despite, remember, there's just one bad guy and he's just way up there in his little hotel room window and he never left until he totally checked out of reality. While he still had like more than half of his stash of ammo just chilling with him, and the cops were not even at his door for another hour, mind you. He just was like, I'm tired. I'm going to bed, like the long bed. Totally logical behavior for someone of this persuasion. Then there's this absolute cluster of 911 calls from the Bellagio. People reporting things like that. Again, to clarify, one bad guy there, that's it. But the Bellagio is like way down here. Where's the Bellagio? It's like one of these guys, I think. Oh, no, it's even further down. It's right here. Way down here. Like, we're talking like this dude has somehow like made all of these dudes panic and think that there's something going on inside this building. Then you move up to the Mirage. There's more. Caesar's Palace, Mirage. Right there. 911 call. You can listen to it yourself. It's recorded. The Venetian, same thing. Listen to the 911 call. That's not to mention that something seriously fishy happened at this helicopter tour spot right here, which you can see right here, where there's these 911 calls that came in from there where dude's girlfriend calls and is like, yo, something super bad is happening here. And they're all locked down and they're hiding. And one woman was injured. It's really not clear what happened to Sundance helicopters, but what is clear is there was some super weird helicopter stuff happening that night. You can see them in the videos, like helicopters that aren't police, that aren't supposed to be there, that don't officially exist. But then people started digging through the flight logs.
Later at 9:45, the same 3 helicopters that left earlier began to return from the north, head south across the strip, and then stop and begin to hover above the Mandalay Bay area for several minutes. By 9:50, all 3 helicopters hovering above Mandalay Bay turn off their transponders 15 minutes before the shooting ends, and they do not go back on until after the shooting festival ceases.
15 minutes before everything starts. And there's this whole rabbit hole to be done with a special kind of helicopter. I'm told that it uses its exhaust to be its rear like stabilizers instead of having a rear propeller. Makes it super quiet. Anyways, sidetracked. Anyways, there's way too much here to fit into a short form video. This is already super long. I'll do a longer video about it at some point, but you should really go check out this map for yourself and just like think about it, think for yourself.
How absolutely incredible. What a compilation of information and stuff that we didn't even know was going on. Like there was reports of bang bang things happening in other places, and what's up with those helicopters. I'm going to leave a link to the full video in the description. Check it out at the end. There's like another 3 minutes that he talks about stuff that I don't understand, but I felt like the video was already too long. But yeah, super incredible. But that's going to be it for me. Thank you so much for sharing your time with me today. Please come on back tomorrow. We're going to watch some new stuff. I'll say different things, and it's going to be fantastic. Until then, have a wonderful day.